Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us start the session with a nice quote. What is today's quote? Today's quote is related to knowledge. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. When you invest in knowledge, it always pays the best interest. There is another saying related to knowledge. We always say, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is the ultimate thing. So do remember, an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Now let us go to the enrichment part. What are you going to learn today from this particular session? When it comes to the vocabulary, you are going to learn 10 words. The first one, enhanced. Enhanced means, it is an important word, intensified or increased. Procurement. Procurement usually goes with industries and companies, public sector as well as private sector. Usually a big company has a procurement officer. The act of obtaining something, procurement or procure, the action of obtaining something. Rather easy, should not be a problem. You have got this word already, thrust. Thrust means to force or to push. Usually we say to force something. And eroding, gradually destroying something. Usually this word goes with erosion is a noun form, soil erosion. And sometimes it goes with confidence. His confidence got eroded, another combination. Kindled, there are two words. One is inspired or aroused. Kindled means aroused or inspired. Clamor, loud and confused noise. Usually it is used whenever there is a protest, some sort of protest, we use the word clamor. Fraught, an important word, it means filled with. Something is filled with, fraught with something. It takes a preposition with. Wean, to detach slowly and gradually. Detach from something, wean off. And overhaul, to completely change or transform. To completely transform or change one meaning. Another meaning, usually it goes with missionary. You take one part and you examine it thoroughly. Then also we use the same word. And tone down, an important phrasal verb. Tone down means to reduce the intensity of something. Tone down something. Reduce the intensity. Besides these 10 effective words, you are going to recollect 5 idioms. Keep to oneself. This goes with everyday English. It goes with persons. Know the ins and outs. This also goes with everyday English. It also goes with the workplace. And usually it goes with subject or the way of doing something or handling something. Leave one high and dry. This goes with everyday English or informal English. Let down. This also goes with everyday English or informal English. Make a dent. This goes with formal English, usually. It goes with performance. It goes with individuals. Sometimes it goes with organizations. Now coming to phrasal verbs, you are going to recollect and consolidate these 5 phrasal verbs. Seep away, send for, tag on, taper off, throw up. Some of these go with everyday context. Coming to exercises, today you're going to work on vocabulary, spot the errors, para-jumble, close test, synonyms, antonyms based on the time factor, reading comprehension skill. And consolidation, you're going to recollect these 10 words. Lockdown, rather easy now, should not be a problem. Cessation, an important word. Galvanizing, culminated, stranded, hapless, unwittingly, vulnerable, tenuous, and metal. Today we are going to start with spot the errors. I have brought 6 sentences. Have a look at each sentence and try to spot the error. Many of these are rather easy, should not be a problem. So please have a look at sentence number 1 and tell me where the error is. Looks like someone's birthday, but not today, yesterday. So belated birthday wishes. Whose birthday? Please go to sentence number 1 and tell me where the error is. Here, yes, a lot of students have responded. Here it is not B-O-R-N, it should be. The letter E is missing. There are two. First, you have to think of the verb bear. Bear, born, but when it comes to the past participle, when it comes to the bear, bore, when it comes to the past participle, we have two forms. One is B-O-R-N, the other one is B-O-R-N-E. Born means to give birth, and N-E, that means to carry someone or something. In this context, usually we say waterborne disease carried by water. So motorcycle-borne youth. The letter E is missing, so this is not correct. We have to add the letter E. Then the word is correct. This word is correct. In this context, this word is not correct. Now let us go to sentence number 2. Where is the error? Second one, I see a few students, only 2 or 3 students have answered. Let others also answer. Yes, here it is not this word. It should be C-O-R-P-S. There are 2 words. C-O-R-P-S, it goes with military, subdivision of military, corps. And what is the meaning of the other word? C-O-R-P-S-E. Corpse means a dead body, a dead body. Dead body of an animal or dead body of an individual. Usually it goes with animals, dead body of an animal. We use the word corpse. As I said, where is that word agreed to? As I said, once I say there is an error here, please don't look at other words and take it for granted. Every other word in the sentence is absolutely right, based on the context. So nothing wrong with that one. Both countries agree to. Why is it in present, you may wonder. I still appreciate what is the reason. If you take the newspaper, when it comes to headlines, quite often for headlines, they use present tense. When they report past events or future events, they're supposed to use past tense, they're supposed to use future tense, but they use present tense. So don't get confused. That is journalistic style. It goes only with newspaper headlines. I will repeat. That's a very good doubt. Both countries agreed to disengage after detailed talks were held between corps commanders. Here, were held. It talks about the past context. But still, the newspaper headlines, they use present tense to express past events and future events. Please go to. I would like to give one example. Imagine there was a match yesterday. India won the match. But you see the headline, India wins the match against Australia. Already India has won. India won the match. The match was yesterday. They played yesterday. Yes, English has rules, English has exceptions. So you see the headline, India wins the match. So don't get confused. This goes only with headlines. Now please go to sentence number 3 and tell me where the error is. Yes, a lot of students have answered, and here, thank you very much. Here, it is not distance. Distance is not correct. It should be distant. Distant dream. What is the word dream here? Noun. The word before that should be an adjective. So distant, adjective. And what is the word distance? Distance is a noun. We cannot use a noun here, we have to use an adjective. And what is the adjective form of that particular word? Distant. So this question is related to, as I say quite often, word forms. Correct word, but the form is not correct. Please go to question number 4 and tell me where the error is. An easy one, should not be a problem. Already about 10 students have responded. It is not here 2 countries. When we talk about 2 countries, we should not use among. It should be between. It should be between. Between, among, 2 and more than 2. 2 persons or 2 things, between, more than 2, among. But sometimes what happens, more than 2, we can use between. When we talk about things which belong to the same category, when we try to differentiate, then more than 2 also we can use between. She could not, I would like to give an example. She could not decide between the Harvard University, the Cambridge University, and the Princeton University. I have mentioned 3 universities, still I have used the word between. They all belong to the same category. So do remember that. Don't take it for granted blindly. Between 2 persons or 2 things, more than 2, among. Exceptions are always there. Now let us go to sentence number 5. Tell me where the error is. Amongst, that goes with already we have discussed. I didn't want to extend. Among, amongst. This is one pair. If the word after the preposition begins with a vowel letter or a vowel sound, we use amongst. I repeat. These two, one pair. These two, one pair. What is the difference between among and amongst? If the word after the preposition begins with a vowel letter or a vowel sound, then we use amongst. Amongst is also, it goes with formal English and written English. It is rather a literary expression. Remember that. Now here, sentence number 5, where is the error? This is an important one. If you don't read the sentence carefully, you cannot spot the error. I think we got a question related to reported speech yesterday. I told yesterday or day before yesterday. This is related to indirect speech or reported speech. If the reporting verb here has said, whenever you come across words like said, told, ordered, warned, requested, asked, you got to be alert. You should think of reported speech or indirect speech. And here the reporting verb is in present perfect tense. If the reporting verb is in present, present perfect, or future, the tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. And here, actual statement, will. It will accelerate. Has said that it will accelerate. Usually, if the reporting verb is in past, will changes to would. But here the reporting verb is in present perfect, so it will not change to would. It will be will. It will accelerate. The correct word is will. And this question is related to reported speech or indirect speech. Reported speech. Remember, if the reporting verb is in present tense, present perfect tense, or future tense, tenses don't change. Tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. Now go to the last one. This goes with common errors. Sentence number 6, where is the error? A few students have got it right. I think only one student. Let others also respond. Sri Krishna has got it right. And also one more, who is that? Smart Purna has got it right. You cannot remove something. It is not related to that dimension. You have to understand what is this question about. Here it is not about the idea behind framing this question, whether you know the rule or not. What is the rule here? If the reporting verb is in present, present tense, or present perfect, or future, the tenses don't change. Based on that, we cannot touch the reporting verb. Never touch the reporting verb. Said, let it be said. Say, let it be say. Has said, let it be has said. Based on the reporting verb, you look for the error. Never ever try to touch the reporting verb. What is the last one? It is not once in a year. Once a year. This is a common error. Once a week. Once a year. But if you mention the number of days, you can use a preposition in. Once in 2 days. Once in 2 days. This is correct. Once in 5 years, it is correct. But whenever you use a week, a month, a year, do remember, you cannot use a preposition in. You have to say once a week, once a year, once a month. That's all about that exercise. Spot the errors. Now let us go to the editorial and see what is there to learn from this today's editorial. At the outset, what is this editorial about? What is this about? This is about government e-marketplace, a platform, online platform, and the concept of self-reliance. Concept of self-reliance. And what is a broad framework? It starts with the decision regarding procurement. It goes with, and it says this particular decision related to procurement on on e-marketplace raises some questions. Then it talks about Make in India program, whether it was successful, not successful, and to what extent, all those things. Then it talks about the drive or the initiative taken by the government of India. And based on that drive, the drive basically the bottom line, it is all about self-reliance. And based on that particular drive, what are the risks involved and what impact it has made on different categories of business and dependence. It talks about the limitations. Nothing can be done overnight. So self-reliance, we have been talking about self-reliance. I remember since 80s or 90s we have been talking self-reliance. But certain things cannot be achieved or attained overnight. So the editorial talks about the dependence factor. A lot of industries for the raw material and for the parts, they depend on many countries, especially to a great extent on China. Then it talks about the time factor. Nothing can be done overnight. Certain things take a lot of time, and it talks about the time factor. And it also talks about what has to be done, overhaul of some certain things. It talks about the suggestion or the solution or the remedy. And at the fag end of the editorial, it talks about the concept of self-reliance. In the long run, how can we achieve self-reliance? What is required? It talks about 3 different factors. And finally, it concludes saying that this is not the right time to focus on this to a great extent. No doubt we have to focus on that, but it has to be done in such a way that we have to be practical. Now, how does it start? The editorial starts with signaling intent. Signal, you all know the word signal. Signaling, here it has been used as a verb. Signaling something, what intent, intention, the plan, the idea, the motive, the objective. And it is related to on government e-marketplace. This is an online platform to procure the products for the government, for the public sector enterprises to buy and sell. It's an online platform, e-marketplace, government e-marketplace. And what is the main idea here? India needs enhanced manufacturing capabilities and improved efficiencies. As I said, India has been talking about self-reliance for quite some time. And the editorial's main idea, how can we achieve or attain self-reliance, Two things are required. One is India needs enhanced manufacturing capabilities, enhanced, increased, or improved, enhanced, intensified manufacturing capabilities, one thing, and improved efficiencies. We got to be very efficient. We got to have professional ethics, and we have to have values and ethics when it comes to the workplace, and efficiency is a key word. Manufacturing capability is one thing, the other thing, improved efficiencies. Then it starts with the decision taken by the center. What is the decision and what questions does it raise? The center's decision to make it mandatory. We have got this word many a time. Mandatory means compulsory. The center's decision to make it mandatory for vendors. Vendors, there are two dimensions when it comes to the meaning of the word vendor. A person who sells in the street, small products, small things, we use the word vendor for that person. But vendor also goes with an individual or a company that sells products or services to companies or to organizations. Imagine a particular company sells computers to another company. Then we use the word vendor to the company which supplies computers to another company. It has got two different dimensions. The center's decision to make it mandatory for vendors on the government e-marketplace, it is called GEM. You can also take it as gem. You all know the word gem of a person. There's a standard expression. If someone is really good, we use the expression, he is gem of a person. Procurement. There's one important word here. Procurement means what? Action of obtaining something, action of obtaining products. Procurement platform. So what is this government e-marketplace procurement platform? To specify the country of origin. This is the actual idea. The center's decision to make it mandatory, compulsory for vendors on the government e-marketplace procurement platform to specify the country of origin. They have to specify the country of origin of that particular product, and it has become mandatory of new products listed by them is on the face of it unexceptionable. Means no objection can be raised. It cannot be questioned. Aimed as it is at promoting India-made goods. So what is the decision and what is the intention behind? What is the idea behind? It is nothing but as it is aimed at what? Promoting India-made goods. It starts with this decision and the intention behind. Then still it continues with the decision. Apart from the place of manufacture, at the outset it talks about they should mention or specify the country of origin of new products. Apart from the place of manufacture, the platform's administrators have also sought details on the extent of local content and set guidelines on the percentage of localization for enabling procurement in the case of bids of a specified value. When it comes to the bids of a specified value, certain things have been added. One is origin of, the first one talks about the country of origin. And besides that, when it comes to bids of a specified value, it talks about the administrators, the platform's administrators have also sought details on the extent of local content. Extent of local content, one thing, the second dimension, and they have set guidelines on the percentage of localization. Percentage of localization for enabling procurement in the case of bids of a specified value. The word bid goes with auction. You all know that. However, then editorial talks about this particular decision raises several questions. It starts with the contrasting word. However, the timing and thrust of the announcement, timing and thrust. There's one important word, thrust. Thrust means what? To force, to push or to force. The timing and thrust of the announcement set in the backdrop of, remember this expression, set in the backdrop of the government's newfound push for self-reliance in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and its devastating impact. COVID-19 pandemic, that is a backdrop, and its devastating impact. Devastating means destroying to a great extent. We have got this word already. Devastating impact on the global economy, coupled with the recent heightened border tensions with China, raises several questions. What raises several questions? One is the backdrop. What is the backdrop here? COVID-19, and also the impact, devastating impact on the global economy, coupled with, besides that, it also talks about the backdrop is the recent heightened border tensions with China, raises several questions. Now the editorial talks about, in the past we had, not in the past but recent past I would say, Make in India campaign. The government's attempts to raise the share of manufacturing in the economy through the Make in India program have so far failed to significantly boost investment in new cutting-edge technology-driven or export-oriented industries, and instead only taken the country back to import substitution plants, making goods predominantly for domestic consumption. A lengthy sentence, but the sentence talks about Make in India concept and to what extent it has been successful. The government's attempts to raise the share of manufacturing in the economy through the Make in India program have so far failed to significantly boost investment in new cutting-edge technology-driven. Remember this expression you have to use when it comes to the descriptive paper. This is what we call power expression. Cutting-edge technology-driven or export-oriented industries, and instead only taken the country back to import substitution plants, making goods predominantly, mainly for domestic consumption. And it talks about the drive and the risks involved. To that extent, the drive for self-reliance and greater localization risks once again eroding Indian industries' global competitiveness by placing a premium on Indianness over quality or cost. There are two dimensions here. One is placing a premium on Indianness, made in India tag. The other one, quality or cost. When it comes to the international markets or to compete globally, the most important factor is quality. It is not the label, it is not the tag. The bottom line is always quality. And after that comes cost. I don't consider cost. In my opinion, it is always the quality. So this sentence talks about the drive and what are the risks involved in that particular drive. To that extent, the drive for self-reliance and greater localization risks once again eroding Indian industry's global competitiveness. Erode means to slowly destroy, to gradually destroy something. Eroding what? Indian industry's global competitiveness by placing a premium, giving more importance to Indianness over quality or cost. Then it talks about the impact of this particular decision or the drive. The center's move with its GEM portal has also predictably kindled, an important word, it means aroused or inspired, kindled and amplified. Amplify means to magnify, to make something bigger or greater in the magnitude. Amplified a gathering clamor. The word clamor means loud and confused noise. Usually it goes with protest, but sometimes exceptions are there. So it talks about amplified, kindled and amplified a gathering clamor for the identification and subsequent boycott of Chinese products, including on private e-commerce platforms. Two things. One, a gathering clamor for the identification, one dimension, and the other one, subsequent later, boycott of Chinese products, including on private e-commerce platforms. Not only this particular platform, but also boycott of Chinese products on private e-commerce platforms. Then it talks about, the editorial talks about two limitations. One limitation based on the dependence at this juncture. The other one talks about the time factor. All these sentences, I don't know how many sentences, they talk about the dependence factor as of now. The weaponization of trade ties, I repeat, the weaponization of trade ties, especially one where India's reliance on import from China now extends beyond smartphones and low-cost electronics to heavy machinery and active pharmaceutical ingredients. Now this talks about the dependence of so many sectors on China. The weaponization of trade ties, especially one where India's reliance on import from China now extends beyond smartphones, low-cost electronics to heavy machinery and active pharmaceutical ingredients, is a double-edged sword. This is an important expression you have to remember, double-edged sword, and fraught with risks for the Indian economy as well. Filled with risks. Double-edged, very dangerous. Usually a sword, one side sharp. Imagine both sides sharp, then it is very dangerous. Double-edged sword and fraught with risks, filled with risks for the Indian economy as well. Then it still talks about dependence factor. India's drug makers, especially the industry, pharmaceutical industry. India's drug makers who are seeking to entrench, deep-rooted, or establish themselves as a pharmacy to the world in the middle of the pandemic and accompanying rush for affordable generic treatments depend on the northern neighbor, that means China, for about 70% of their requirements of bulk drugs and intermediates. It talks about, again, the dependence specifically related to the pharmaceutical sector and industry, and to the extent of 70%. For India to wean itself off these dependencies, now it talks about how long does it take and also what has to be done. There's one important word here, wean. To detach, usually, gradually, not all of a sudden, slowly, gradually. For India to wean itself off these dependencies will take time. It will take time. This is what I said the other day. The fact is that enhancing manufacturing capacities with improved efficiency and reduced cost would require an overhaul of bureaucratic processes. This talks about the remedy, what is required, an overhaul of bureaucratic processes. Overhaul goes with a machine. It also goes with, you want to change something completely, then we use that particular word. Then it talks about the concept of self-reliance and in the long run, what is required. How does it end? Attaining genuine self-reliance is a long and capital-intensive process. It's a long process and also it is capital-intensive process that would require a few things. What are those things? That would require far greater investment in education, skill building and infrastructure. To attain or achieve self-reliance, we got to focus on, it should be a multi-pronged approach. We got to focus on three things. One is investment in quality education, not only education, quality education, one thing, very important. Then skill building, again, very important. And the most important, rather, infrastructure. Three things, quality education, skill building, and infrastructure. And what is the conclusion? The government e-marketplace move on country of origin is at best symbolic. This particular decision or this particular move on country of origin, making it mandatory to mention country of origin, is at best symbolic. It is like a symbolic gesture. For now, policy makers ought to. This is a helping verb. Now it has become outdated. We use should. But still people use, that's a bit strange. Today you have seen it in the editorial. And I have read somewhere it has become outdated in the Western countries. For now, policymakers should or ought to tone down, this is a phrasal verb, means to reduce the intensity of something. Any trade-linked rhetoric, already have got the expression rhetoric, usually it goes with public speaking, it goes with politicians, saying something repeatedly, and we use that to convince or to persuade, usually the masses, the public, the people. Then we use the word rhetoric. For now, policymakers ought to tone down any trade-linked rhetoric and give diplomats and military negotiators the room to smooth ties. Smooth, that is a verb. Smooth, adjective. Smooth, it's a verb. Ties. This is all about today's editorial, and let us have a look at vocabulary from this editorial. Enhanced, intensified or increased. procurement, the action of obtaining something, and thrust, push, eroding, gradually destroying, soil erosion, a typical combination, kindled, aroused or inspired, typical combination, kindled interest, kindled enthusiasm, kindled inquisitive nature. Remember these combinations. And clamor, a loud, confused noise, fraught, filled with, fraught with risks, fraught with dangers, fraught with apprehensions, typical combinations. Wean, to detach usually, gradually. Wean off, it is also a phrasal verb. It takes a preposition of. Overhaul, to change completely in this context. And tone down, again a phrasal verb, to make something less severe. Coming to phrases and effective English, decision to make it mandatory. Make something mandatory. Remember this one. What does it mean? To make something mandatory, to make something compulsory. Apart from, besides, apart from the place of manufacture, they have to do something else. Apart from, you can also think of the preposition besides. Besides the place of manufacture, apart from the place of manufacture. In addition to the place of manufacture, try to substitute. Set in the backdrop of, set in the background of, set in the backdrop. Set in or set against the backdrop. You could also use the preposition against. Set against the backdrop of, set in the backdrop of. Backdrop means background. Raises several questions. The decision, the policy, the behavior raises several questions. Remember an important expression. Taken the country, something has taken the country back to. Take someone or something back to a particular situation. Taken the country back to import substitution plants. Take someone or something back to some particular situation. It is a double-edged sword. A particular policy, a particular decision could be a double-edged sword. For India to wean itself off, remember the phrasal verb, wean off, to detach usually, gradually. For India to wean itself off these dependencies. Wean yourself off something. Wean itself off something. The government e-marketplace move on country of origin is at best, something is at best symbolic. Remember this expression, it is at best symbolic. Now coming to comprehension skill. What is this editorial about? The first question. What raises several questions in the context of the editorial? Raises several questions. Based on these words, you can locate the answer. What have so far failed to significantly boost investment in new cutting-edge technology-driven industries? Based on these words, you can locate what is required for enhancing manufacturing capacities with improved efficiency and reduced cost. Again, easy to locate. And how can we attain genuine self-reliance? At the fag end of the editorial talks about how to attain or achieve genuine self-reliance based on three factors. One is quality education, the other is infrastructure, and the third one, what does the third one talk about? It talks about skill building. Today, one of the problems we have a lot of youngsters, unfortunately, the skill set not up to the level, up to the mark. That is one of the problems. And government has been trying to do something regarding skill improvement or skill enhancement. And let us have a look at grammar rule. This is very difficult, not at all easy. He has been the same person he is. This is not correct. What is the reason? There is one important word, same. When we use the word same, there are three words. All, same, and also, only. When we use these words in a sentence, we have to use a relative pronoun that. So this sentence is not correct. This sentence is correct. He has been the same person that he is. That means he has not changed. And if you take all that glitters is not gold. It is only dogs that bark. It is only dogs that bark. So remember these examples and this is not an easy one. You got to learn the rule, and you have to remember. Only then you can spot the error. Otherwise, not practically possible. Now let us go to the exercises part and close test. You see 6 blanks and 6 words. You have to choose the correct word. Someone's first class. A lot of messages I can't see right now. Oh. Good morning, sir. My first class since I found this editorial class on Unacademy. Love from Lucknow. Thank you very much, Satish Shankar Yadav. Thanks a lot from Lucknow. I appreciate that. Please work on this exercise. COVID-19 has, what is a clue for you? This is based on grammar knowledge. At the outset, you decide what is this blank related to. Do you have to use grammar knowledge or knowledge related to collocations, combinations, or contextual awareness? So has, you need a verb. Humanity, not a verb. Entities, noun. Knocked is a verb. Stranded is a verb. And you have to have a verb in past participle form. Only 2 verbs are there in the past participle form. It has to be either knocked or stranded. Here, COVID-19 has down economies. You cannot use the word stranded. Stranded goes with people. You have to select has knocked down economies. That's right. What is the second one? People. You get held up somewhere. You can't move from one place to another place. You can't go from one place to another place. What is the word for that? It is stranded. Oh, who is this? Bishwajit. Good morning, sir. Love and respect from Kolkata. That's wonderful. I appreciate. Thanks a lot. So, people, then you have to select stranded. What is the appropriate word? The first one is knocked down. The second one is stranded people. Hit education, work and travel, and cut short people's lives. If the pandemic has one lesson for whom? Very easy to answer. What is the correct word from? Oh, we have people from across the country. Another person from Delhi. Am I right? Oh, Delhi. Doraemon. Oh, that's really good. From the capital city. So let us go to the exercise. I don't want you guys to get deviated or distracted. If the pandemic has one lesson for what? For whom? Ask a question, for whom? Humanity. What is the answer here? For humanity, it is that people, places, and non-human and processes are connected. Non-human what? Already have got humanity, and you have to select non-human entities. That's right. It is the second one. What is the next one? And processes are connected. These connections have long been ignored in most what? Spheres. Spheres means areas. So answer is the 6th one. And what is the last word? Including economic landscapes, food systems, and pedagogies. And the answer, the last one is 5. Has anyone got all the 6 correct? That's wonderful, highly appreciable. Now let us go to the para-jumble. You got to read very carefully. There are 6 parts, but 3 ideas. 6 parts, 3 ideas. And you should get, you have to identify the pairs of sentences. It should not be a problem. That's very good. 4 also you should be very happy. All the 6, you should be extremely happy. Today is your day. You have to tell yourself, today is my day. Please go to the next exercise, para-jumble. What is the first sentence? Oh, that's wonderful, Rajashekar. For the first time, I got all 6 correct. That's very good. That shows improvement. It shows, it goes beyond any doubt. You have improved a lot. Ramesh, also all the 6 for the first time. That's really good, highly appreciable. So what is the first one? Let us work on the exercise related to para-jumble. In the early days of the lockdown, when COVID-19 cases began to rise, first one is A. This is the first one. For a change, I have used. It means related to teaching. Related to teaching. We use the word. 1A, absolutely right. In the early days of the lockdown, when COVID-19 cases began to rise, study of teaching, exactly, Nagamani, you're right. Please work on the para-jumble. What is the second one? Second one is D. A, D, 1 pair. We have 3 pairs, that's what I have said. A, D, 1 pair. What is that? In the early days of the lockdown, when COVID-19 cases began to rise, we witnessed a second virus. First one is COVID-19, a second virus spreading equally rapidly in the country. That is the virus of communalism. First virus, COVID-19, and coronavirus. Second virus, the virus of communalism. 1, 2. This is 1 pair. What is the third one? Third one is, yes, obviously, it is E. It should talk about the third virus, but there is a third virus around which is less spoken about. What is that third virus? You need to identify the related part. What is the fourth part? A virus eating into and severely corroding our democratic structure, the virus of arbitrary power. So these two are related. That means EB, 1 pair. But there is a third virus around which is less spoken about. What is that? A virus eating into and severely corroding our democratic structure, the virus of arbitrary power. Arbitrary power. Arbitrary means what? Without any rationality, without any reasoning, and based on someone's whims or whims and fancies. And what is this? These two 1 pair. What is the third pair? There is no better evidence of this. This means the virus of arbitrary power than the denial of bail to a pregnant student activist. This is the 5th one. Arrested for creating disorder on an unprecedented scale. But all that she had done, participated in a protest. So what is the last one? F is the last one. And what is this? CF. These two 1 pair. It is structured on 3 ideas, each idea 2 sentences. That means we have 3 pairs, each 2 sentences. So you have got this also correct for the first time. Who is that? Rajendra Raju. That's wonderful. You must be very happy. So have a look at the structure. In the early days of the lockdown, when COVID-19 cases began to rise, first virus, we witnessed a second virus, first, second. But there's a third virus. Ask the question, what is it? A virus eating into and severely corroding our democratic structure, the virus of arbitrary power. Related to this and these two, 1 idea. And the third one, there is no better evidence regarding the third virus. What is that? The virus of arbitrary power. Than the denial of bail to a pregnant student activist arrested for creating disorder on an unprecedented scale, never seen before scale. Now let us work on vocabulary from today's editorial. Have a look at each word. First you write the part of speech. Shivkumar, you have got for the first time all the correct order. Uday Kumar also, a lot of students. Sai Krishna, all correct. Neelima, that's really good. Today for the first time, Venkateshwarlu, Nagamani. Nagamani must have got many a time. Suresh Kumar, please have a look at the words in the meantime. Bharat Kumar, Tulasi, Shrikant, wonderful. A lot of students. What is the first one? First you write the part of speech. Enhanced. Part of speech, enhance something. Verb, but it could be adjective. enhanced something. But basically it is a regular verb. What is the meaning of that? Intensified or increased. Intensified or increased. The next one, MENT, obviously it has to be. But do remember exceptions are there. And it is a noun, procurement. What is the verb form of that? Procure. Slowly, not tomorrow, but maybe July 1st, I'm going to change the approach. I'm going to bring for each word, because a lot of students find it difficult. They have to spend a lot of time to find out the word combinations, the word forms. So at least out of 10 words, important words, at least 5 words, I myself would like to present the word forms and the word combinations. That will help you guys to a great extent. But not this week. I will be able to do it next week. So what is the meaning of that? The action of obtaining something. I is the answer. Thrust. Thrust. What part of speech is it? It is a verb. It could be a noun. Force. Force could be a noun, could be a verb. What is the meaning of that? Here it could also mean push. A is the answer. Yes, looks like pan-India. That's right. Across the country. And we have a few from Tamil Nadu as well. Quite often one student keeps posting. Let us go to the next one. Eroding. Erode, part of speech, verb. And what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of the fourth one? H, gradually destroying. Remember the typical collocation, erode, erosion. Erosion is a noun form. It goes with soil. Quite often we talk about, today we have this problem, soil erosion. So soil erosion, you have to remember that combination. Let us go to the fourth one, kindled. Kindle, part of speech verb. It is a regular verb. Kindle means what? Aroused or inspired. J is the answer. Oh, you guys have responded. So many. Go to the next one. Clamor. Clamor, part of speech. It could be a verb, but generally it is used as a noun. As a noun, what is the meaning of that? Clamor. A loud and confused noise. Answer is D. Karnataka. Okay, that's good. Kanwar or Kamath. Kamath, obviously, that name belongs to the state of Karnataka. We have Kamath hotels, very popular. Please go to fraught, an important word. Fraught with, filled with. It is a phrase because you have to consider the preposition with, fraught with, right, as a phrase. What is the meaning of that? Filled with. Fraught, filled with, and answer is B. Let us go to eighth one, wean, an important word, but it's a phrasal verb. It takes a preposition of, wean off. Oh, Manoj is from Maharashtra. Wonderful. You guys and Umesh from Karnataka, across the country, that's really good. I appreciate your interest. And what is the meaning of wean off? Gradually over, to change completely, to detach usually, gradually. That is the answer. G is the answer. And overhaul, part of speech verb, means what? To change completely. And what is the last one? Tone down. That is also a phrasal verb. What are you left with? To make something less severe. Answer is C. Oh, no, not yet. A long way to go, Bharat. It is too early to say that. Not at all. Please go to, have a look at this word map. Clamor, an important word. Loud noise. Stramash, not a regular word, but do remember, you never know. Rumpus, not a regular word. Babble, not a regular word. Uproar, an important word. I want you guys to remember. tumult, an important word, I want you guys to remember. These three words you may come across, you will come across quite often. But these three are rather rare, once in a blue moon. Oh, someone is from Afghanistan. Serious, or are you really serious? Who is this? Janam Khan. Please respond. Afghanistan. Seriously. Say yes, that's enough. Janam Khan. Now let us go to the next exercise. Phrasal verbs. Have a look at the 5 phrasal verbs and try to get the correct one. Oh, that is really appreciable. We have one from Pakistan, one from Afghanistan. That is really. And there is one Abhishek Kumar from Bihar. That's very good. Now let us not focus on that. Definitely something to feel happy about. We have all sorts of people from across the country and neighboring countries. That's really good. And seep away. Seep actually means to slowly come out. The water is seeping. When the water oozes or comes out slowly, then we use seep, but seep away. If you don't know, just hold that one. But what? No, that is not. We cannot say across the world. That is too much. I appreciate, but whatever it is. Seep away. What is the answer? C. Drain away. That is right. Drain away. Over. Slowly. That is important. Drain away slowly. Send for. Send for someone. What is the answer? To. I cannot do that. Reducing the ads, not in my hands. I'm not the right person and I cannot do anything about it. I'm not aware of that, frankly speaking. I don't know about the advertisements or ads, offline video, and I cannot do anything about it. Sorry about that. And what is the answer to? To is not, to is A, summon or order. Summon or order. Send for someone. Summon someone. Answer is A. And tag on. Tag on you all must be knowing. What is the third one? Follow. Third one is D. Tag on. Follow someone. The word tag, usually it means something that comes at the end as a tail. We have question tags. Question tags, very important from the exam point of view. Thank you very much. Who is this? Lalita. Thanks a lot. Taper off. This is an important one. Something tapers off. Decrease steadily in size. So answer is E. And throw up. It goes with everyday English. What is the meaning of throw up? Vomit. You throw up something. When you have something, you vomit. Then we say throw up. I threw up the food I had for lunch. Now let us go to idioms. All the 5 correct. That's really good. These idioms, some of these are important from the exam point of view. Keep to oneself. Somewhere I feel I should spend more time on phrasal verbs, enrichment point of view. I will be doing it sooner or later. More time in the sense, here all that you are doing, please listen to me for a minute. Here all that you have been just looking at the phrasal verbs and trying to find out the meaning. But in the real sense, you may not get benefited. You may not have that real awareness. So what I want to do in the near future, I would like to show the context, give a few examples, each one, and tell how to remember the phrasal verbs and a few tips regarding how to remember. A lot of students have been asking, so how to remember phrasal verbs, how to remember idioms. We'll focus on those aspects as well, sooner or later. Now, keep to oneself, this goes with persons, everyday English, and what does it mean? And what is a typical example? He always keeps to himself. She always keeps to herself. What is the meaning of that? 1D. Be reserved. Absolutely right. 1D. Don't keep to yourself. Mingle with others. Examples. Yes, different dimensions have been, I always take a holistic approach. This is a holistic approach. Holistic means touching every dimension, multi-pronged approach. Know the ins and outs. This is an important one. Usually this goes with work, this goes with expertise, this goes with a subject. He knows English grammar. He knows the ins and outs of English grammar. Means what? To know something thoroughly. Answer is A. He knows the ins and outs of English grammar. Now go introvert, in a way. Yes, I don't know who that student because so many messages. A person who keeps to himself is, you can also use the word introvert. And what is opposite? Extrovert. Absolutely correct. Who is this? Suresh Kumar. You're right. I appreciate that. Leave one high and dry. An important one. It has been given in a few competitive exams. What does it mean? She has been left high and dry by her family. He has been left high and dry by his kith and kin. What does it mean? Fail to help or support. Oh, leave one in distress. Answer is E. Leave one in distress or abandon one in distress. Next one, let down. Let down someone. We have got this many a time. I usually say, don't let down your parents, don't let down your friends, don't let down your master. Typical examples. And what is the meaning of that? Let down. How come? C. Fail to help or support. Perhaps you can consider. Generally we say disappoint. Disappoint someone. Don't let down someone means what? Don't disappoint someone. And make a dent. Make a slight impression. But usually it is used in the negative context. He could not make a dent on someone or something. It did not make a dent on something. So important idioms. Now let us go to today. Please listen. Yesterday it was 9:10. Now we have sessions after this also. You have got these five, all the five correct. That's good. And I want you guys to work on these synonyms, these words, and antonyms, these words. I will give the answers tomorrow. But today you let us work on, because of the time factor. Please, that's really good. Yesterday one boy posted he got a job in Andhra Bank. And that's really good. When you guys say, so I got the selection, I got selected, I feel very happy. Now let us work on the last exercise for today. Lockdown, what does it mean? Lockdown, you all know that. I don't have to ask this question. And a lot of students, they say it for the first time I have got. Isolation, quarantine, isolation. Where is that word isolation? C is the answer. I will write here. C is the answer. Please go to the next one. Cessation. Cessation of something. 1C. What is the second one? J. Ended. End something. No, but think of another word. There is another word. Cessation means to bring to an end, that is right. But here, better you select G, because ended, another word is there. So what is the answer? Cessation, stopping. Bring to an end. You could also write that one, but there is another word. We will use this one for that word. What is the third one? Galvanizing, an important word. Galvanize means what? Stimulation, that's right. Answer is, and where is this isolation over? Answer is A. Galvanizing. Answer is culminated. Culminated, you have to use the word, this one. J is the answer. Culminated, ended, resulted. Here you have to use the word ended. And for cessation, you have to use the word stopping. Culminated in something means what? Ended in something or resulted in something. Now go to the next one, rather easy. We got all these from The editorial related to lockdown in the month of March. So, stranded migrant workers. What is the meaning of that? Stranded. Stuck. Answer is B. I got stranded means what? I got stuck. And hapless. Answer D. Unfortunate. Hapless migrant workers. Hapless people. Hapless children. Unfortunate children. And go to unwittingly. Unwittingly, what does it mean? Unintentionally. Based on the part of speech, you can guess. Unintentionally, unwittingly. And vulnerable. Vulnerable, likely to get exploited. And also you can choose the word exposed. Vulnerable people, exposed. They may get exploited, they may get harmed. And tenuous means what? You have two words here, unsubstantial and metal. Here it should be unsubstantial. And the last word is an important one, metal, determination. When you are exposed to the hardships, you have the determination and you emerge victorious, then we say, he has the metal, he had the metal. Okay. This is all about the vocabulary part, consolidation. And today I would like to stop here. And I want you guys to work on these 5 words. In a way, I'm giving the examples. So be happy with the examples. Learn something from the examples. And try to think of the synonyms and these words, antonyms. That's all for today. Nice session. Glad to know we have students from across the across the country and also students from the neighboring countries. That's wonderful. So have a nice day. I will see you tomorrow with another editorial. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Yes, all the questions I cannot answer the same day. But I'll go through all these messages and something important I will definitely consider. I will respond. Before I wind up the session, I would like to thank all those students who have given the valuable feedback. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.